Dr. Mark Changizi here with your Science Moment. Today I'm going to talk about one reason those that have been encouraging the COVID interventions, which are deeply civil rights violating, they are highly authoritarian, and they don't realize that they're authoritarian. And we've talked before about how often certain kinds of authoritarian laws, if the thing that they're preventing, that they're making illegal, is already taboo, it just doesn't feel like authoritarianism. So, for example, incest amongst adults, if you have a law against that, well, no one's going to feel like it's authoritarian. I mean, in principle, two adult brothers and sisters, as disgusting that sounds, should be able to make that decision. But none of us think that it is an authoritarian law to make that illegal because it's already in the taboo category. Now, the same thing happened once COVID hit, as I talked about in the earlier Science Moment video. Many things like not wearing a mask, like not leaving your house and socializing, and not having a vaccine became taboo. And so having laws that mandated the interventions didn't feel like authoritarianism to the authoritarians. Now, another thing that encourages authoritarianism and makes it feel to the authoritarians as if they're not engaged in any civil liberties violations is our compliance. When they pass an authoritarian law mandating that we all do this, violating our bodily autonomy, leading to controlling where we go, what we wear, shutting down our businesses, if we comply, it kind of feels like they didn't force us to do anything. They kind of feel like they were making a law that we were already itching to follow. When we comply, and of course I complied in the beginning, I thought, well, I don't want to get into a fight every time I enter every single establishment for the first, summer. I was just like, I can't fight every single time. But I think that was the wrong attitude. And by winter of that first 2021 year, I was causing friction every single time. If they wanted me to wear a mask, they had to show their authoritarian laurels to be able to do it. And eventually I might just back down so I could get the job done that I needed to do that day. But I made them act like the authoritarians that they are, right? Make them act like authoritarians. Don't comply, or at least provide great resistance that requires them to stand forth and act like the tyrants they are. That's how they're reminded, they're reminded daily that they are tyrants. If you comply without question, they really come to believe they are not engaged in coercion, in authoritarianism, in civil rights violations at all. And that was your Science Moment. Get yourself a copy of Expressly Human, my 6th book on the origins of emotional expression, groundbreaking, grand unifying theory about why we have emotional expressions. It is the language we truly speak. Right? We're truly speaking that, whether we're using our facial expressions or even spoken language, where we're infusing it constantly with these emotional expressions that really ground the way that social animals communicate. That was your Science Moment.